I told you the colors in Squid Game aren't just for style, but are actually the key to understanding the entire system. The green tracksuits, the red guard uniforms, they're not random, they're a code, a silent language that reveals who has control, who's being watched, and who may never escape. In today's video, we're diving into the color theory behind Squid Game. And once you see what these colors really mean, you'll never watch the show the same way again. Why does green feel so vulnerable and red so intimidating? What if the colors are a psychological trap and we've all been missing it? Let's pull back the curtain. The true purpose of the game. Is it a social experiment? On the surface, the deadly contest might look like a twisted form of entertainment, a violent spectacle for the rich and detached. But peel back the gore-soaked layers, and a more insidious possibility emerges. What if the game isn't just about survival for the broke and desperate, but rather about data collection, behavioral conditioning, and psychological mapping on a massive scale? The players aren't just fighting for money, they're being observed, categorized, and dissected like rats in a high-stakes lab. The cameras aren't just for show, they're surveillance tools in an elaborate test of human limits and submission. Every challenge in the series wasn't random. They were carefully engineered stress tests, specifically calibrated to expose how individuals behave under pressure, betrayal, loss, and scarcity. The illusion of choice was perhaps the cruelest component of all, the vote to leave, the option to return, reinforcing the idea that free will is a construct, and the real study is how easily people will walk back into the fire when offered hope, even if that hope is fatal. The orchestrators weren't just watching blood spill, they were watching morality collapse in real time. How far would someone go when stripped of society's rules? Now imagine this. What if the show's core message isn't dystopian fiction, but a mirror held up to our own system? Replace the pink jumpsuits and geometric masks with office walls and suits, and suddenly the experiment doesn't feel so distant. A controlled environment where desperation is manufactured, competition is weaponized, and the illusion of fairness keeps everyone in line. That's not just a plot device. That's a theory many believe is already playing out in real life. The game might not be a game at all. It could be a warning, or worse, a revelation. Are the VIPs real-world elites? Hidden messages about power? Behind their animal masks and obscene behavior, the VIPs represent more than just anonymous spectators. They are caricatures of excess, grotesque symbols of a global elite detached from consequence and humanity. But their presence may not be just for shock value. There's a deeper allegory at play. These faceless high rollers don't simply watch, they control. They move the chess pieces, bet on outcomes, and turn human suffering into leisure. That's not just dystopian drama, it's a blistering critique of systems where power is concentrated, accountability is non-existent, and life becomes cheap entertainment for those who can afford detachment. The VIPs never ask why the players are there, they ask who will die first. That lack of empathy mirrors a chilling truth. When wealth reaches a certain level, the game changes entirely. It's no longer about survival, it's about dominance. The show suggests that these elites have either created or inherited a structure where others are forced to claw for scraps while they sip drinks behind bulletproof glass. It's not a far leap to draw parallels with real-world power structures, political dynasties, corrupt conglomerates, and private clubs where policies affecting millions are whispered over cigars. Even their choice of anonymity speaks volumes. Power doesn't need a face when systems protect it. The masks don't hide their identity from each other. They hide it from the people they exploit. The symbolism isn't subtle. Control without visibility, violence without guilt. Whether intentional or not, these characters act as avatars for the uncomfortable idea that the most dangerous people in any society aren't the ones playing the game, but the ones who built it, profit from it, and make sure the rules never apply to them. The frontman theory. Was he forced or is he running it willingly? At first glance, the frontman appears to be just another enforcer, a cold, masked authority figure overseeing the chaos from the shadows. But his arc hints hints at something far more complex. Once a winner himself, he now stands as the game's executioner. That transition raises an uncomfortable question. Did he choose to become what he is, or was he pushed into it? There's something tragic about his silence. A former survivor turned operator, walking a tightrope between complicity and captivity. Was it a deal he made to stay alive, or a deeper surrender of humanity traded for power? Some fans speculate the frontman is the ultimate cautionary tale, a glimpse of what happens after the prize is won. The money may save your life, but it can also corrupt it beyond repair. The contrast between his past and present suggests that winning the game doesn't free you. It drafts you into a system that demands loyalty, obedience, and silence. His cool demeanor and brutal efficiency could mask an internal war. Is he numb from trauma, or does he now take pride in his role? Worse, has he begun to believe that this system, as cruel as it is justified? Others believe the mask was never about hiding. It was about transformation. The frontman might be proof that survival in this world comes at a soul-deep cost, and that those who make it out alive are offered a terrifying proposition: join the architects or risk becoming irrelevant. If he was forced, he's a prisoner with the keys. If he wasn't, then he's one of the most dangerous figures in the game. Either way, his existence suggests that the system isn't just about killing, it's about recruiting. And that might be the darkest twist of all. Are players chosen, or do they choose themselves? It seems simple. The players sign up voluntarily. They press the button, accept the rules, and walk into the game. But is it really a choice, or just a clever illusion of one? The people chosen to play aren't selected at random. They all have something in common: desperation, crushing debt, societal failure, and emotional isolation. It's almost as if the game was designed to target the vulnerable, not just financially, but psychologically. And when people are pushed far enough, the idea of choosing becomes complicated. Is it free will, or is it manipulation dressed as opportunity? The invitation, a mysterious card, a promise of money, a chance to start over, isn't extended to everyone. It's targeted, and that targeting mirrors real-world systems that prey on the poor and broken under the guise of help. The game doesn't drag people off the street. It waits until they've run out of every other option. Then it offers one last shot with a knife at the end of it. That's not just selection. That's engineering. The players aren't picked because they're willing. They're picked because they're predictable, the perfect participants in a rigged experiment. And here's the unsettling twist. Even after experiencing the horror, most of the players return. Not because they want to, but because the outside world offers even less hope. That's where the system wins. The game doesn't force itself on them, it lets them come back, knowing they will. It provides the illusion of agency while exploiting the very conditions that took their agency away in the first place. So, do the players choose the game, or does the game choose them, long before they ever realize they're already playing? The color theory, red versus green uniforms explained. The clash of red and green in the game's visual palette isn't just for aesthetic impact, it's an intentional contrast that reveals a deeper power dynamic. The green tracksuits worn by the players symbolize fragility, humanity, and survival. Green is often associated with growth and renewal, yet here it's worn by people who've been systematically stripped of opportunity. They're reduced to numbers, but their color still subtly screams, "We're still alive." It's the color of struggle and perhaps of naive hope that somehow there's still a chance to win, to rebuild, to escape. Now flip that to red, the color of the guards and enforcers. Uniform, faceless, and mechanical. Red is usually tied to danger, control, and blood. In this twisted hierarchy, red stands above green, watching, punishing, guiding. But ironically, the guards are just as trapped. Their anonymity and strict rules hint at their own form of enslavement. They enforce the system, but they're also confined by it. It's a false hierarchy built on color, not freedom. The red may have power, but it's hollow. No names, no faces, no voices, just another layer of control. This sharp contrast doesn't just separate roles, it divides humanity from system, freedom from obedience, and chaos from control. Green is flawed and emotional, red is silent and strict. And when the two collide, it reflects a chilling reality. Those suffering and those enforcing aren't so different. They're both caught in a structure designed by something even higher, the masked VIPs who don't wear uniforms at all. So maybe the real meaning of the colors isn't about sides, it's about how everyone, no matter what they wear, is just another part of the game. Now that you've seen the hidden meanings behind every red and green thread, ask yourself, was it ever really about survival or just submission? If colors can divide the players from the enforcers, maybe they also divide us, those who question the system and those who silently follow it. Let us know in the comments if you woke up wearing green or red. Would you fight the system or follow the rules? Hit that like button if this theory just cracked your mind open, and subscribe, because this is just the beginning. More secrets, more symbols, more truth behind the games we're all unknowingly playing. Welcome to Mind Pop.